Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again. Beer 30 Sanity session, Friday evening. The bar is definitely open. There's the light. Here's to you, here's to me. Skull, cheers, prost. Mm. Yeah, that's good. And I hope you enjoying whatever you do. And I'm enjoying whatever I do, and life goes on. So it is time to relax, chill out, and think about all the great things to come in life, hopefully. They'll come. You get to work on them, they'll come. So, what am I going to talk about today? Guys, I go through this every week. I rack my brain trying to come up with something to brighten your day or whatever. And I'm not sure if this will or not, but I did think about it. And there was I've done a lot of different things. I was a cave guide, a tour guide at Longhorn Caverns. I've done traveling in RVs all over the place and different things, in a Prius, a pickup, a travel trailer. Now got a motorhome. So, yeah, we've had a little variety along the way. And one of the things I remember, of course, I also ran a golf course, a little 9-hole golf course for a while. And yeah, just, a variety of stuff since I've pretty much retired. Well, I've been retired for years, but right at that bubble of retirement and kind of, back and forth, I've done a lot of things. And I was a pipeline inspector and stuff. I searched for leaks. And but another thing I did was, and somebody mentioned it in a comment here a few days ago, about I was a gate guard for a pipeline, and the gate guards, just check who's coming and going and write down the stuff, the names, etc. But to get into that job, I mean, I just stumbled across it. I don't even remember where I saw the ad or how I came on it. It's been that was like 2000 and I want to say 2008. I could be wrong on that. In that range, it's been a long time ago, and to me. And but anyway, I saw it. Well, anyway, I called the company. They were in San Antonio, Texas, and I was at that was when I had my place near Kingsland, Texas, which from San Antonio is not too far. And it's probably to San Antonio from where I was. Well, actually, their place was in north of San Antonio. I want to say their place was in Bernie. Their office was in Bernie, Texas, which was only about 75, 80 miles from where I lived at that time. But anyway, so I saw the deal and it said security guards, and they paid a lot of money and all that stuff. And of course, there was a big oil boom around the area where I was going to go in it also. And I'll get to the exact area in a minute. But you had to go to their offices, and they had to do a background check, and you had to pass an exam on a computer to become a licensed security guard, and I did. And not a weapon carrying security guard. I was a non-weapon carrying guard, and which was fine. I had my own mind changer back then. So anyway, it was really interesting though. You go there to the day of the test, and I think there was two other people there taking the test with me at the same time, and they had little computers set up, for us to do the deal. But what they did, because I thought, I haven't prepared for this test at all, and I know nothing about being a security guard at all, So what the hell is this? How am I going to pass this test? I don't know anything about it. Pretty damn easy. They give you all the answers. I mean, you go on this computer at a certain time, and the thing, you start getting these questions, and you got the answer sheet right here. Your question number one, A, two, B, three, C. Yo, yeah, I made 100. Yeah, I did pretty good. And but they were pretty obvious questions anyway. You probably would have passed it just using common sense. So, but anyway, I did get that done. Then you get your license in the mail and stuff, and then they find you a place. They find you a location, and they look for husband and wife teams. And I was a single, and that's a hard placement for them because that means you got to have a 12-hour gate as opposed to a 24-hour a day gate. And most of the oil field gates were 24 hours. The pipeline gates, however, when they had some available, some of them were 12-hour gates. Well, eventually I did get what's called a 12-hour gate, and well, it was kind of close to uh, Laredo, Texas. And so anyway, the guy, they explained, because, there you are, you're just out in the middle of nowhere. You talk about dry camping times 10, you know what I mean? And but they provided on a trailer a generator and all the fuel. It had a gas tank with it, big tank because it ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The generator did. And then you had to have, of course, water, but they brought you potable water, drinking water. I didn't drink it. I drank bottled water while I was there. I was only there for like 3 months. And but anyway, and then for your sewer and stuff, they had you just hooked your hose up to this uh, portable tank on wheels. But they would come by once a week and replenish your fresh water, your and pump out the sewer, and then also refill your fuel tank. That was the way it's supposed to work because the people that you were working for the company that provided the gate guards, and then that company contracted with people to come out and do the to maintain the generator and the water and the sewer and stuff. So or the black water, I guess you'd call it. Well, all water. And so anyway, I had to meet this guy. I got a Texas map here to refresh my memory, and the name of the little town I met him at was Catarina, Texas, and it's a little south. If you get a Texas map, I'll show you this in just a minute. But there was a Y there and a big pullout for the oil field trucks and stuff. So I pulled over there in my towing my travel trailer, met him there. It was a good deal. Hell, I made, I don't know, tax pretty much tax free because with all your deductions and stuff that they gave you. I was making shit. I don't know, 3,500 a month. Which was basically doing nothing. I will get into that in more detail in a second. But anyway, let me show you. This is the Texas map, the bottom of Texas. You see this black line that I drew here? Well, this down here is Laredo, okay, Laredo, Texas, and that's where I went to get the groceries in Laredo. Now, this little X up here is where I was actually parked, okay? And I've actually got it, I was on the other side of the road. I got the X on the wrong side of that black line. And that's the Rio Grande River that separates Texas from Mexico right there. And so, let's see, let me be sure. Yeah, and this is Eagle Pass up here. This is actually a dirt road starting where the black line starts all the way to Eagle Pass. This is not even shown on the map. It shows about an inch on the Texas map, and then it shows another inch up here. But there's actually a dirt road called Mines, Mines, Mines Road, that runs from Laredo all the way to Eagle Pass. And it is a dirt road from hell. I'm not kidding you, man. It is nothing but a creek bed. You couldn't go, if you went 15 or 20 miles an hour, that was a lot. Now, some people would get up, they just beat the crap out of their equipment and drive 40 or 50 miles an hour. I never did because I just couldn't stand the pain, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I meet this guy over here. Where was it? Here's Catarina over here. And we go across this ranch, okay? It went all over the place. To get from that little place there to where this X is, it took about nearly 3 hours, okay? And I was towing my travel trailer, okay? And the road sucked, man. Everything was getting beat to death in my RV. I knew it. My pickup was getting beat to death. I knew it. And so I was driving slow, and the guy that was taking me to the location, hell, he, zoom, zoom, zoom. And of course, there were gates along the way. He'd get out and, he'd open the gate, and he'd take off, and then I'd pull through, and then I'd close the gate, and hopefully I knew where he went. And finally, one time he pulled over, and I pulled up there, and he got out, and he said, "Hey, man, why are you going so slow?" I said, "Well, let me ask you this question: why are you going so damn fast?" I mean, damn. I said, "Man, I'm towing a travel trailer. That's my house I'm towing back there." You know what I mean? And so anyway, no big deal. He was also towing the generator stuff, you know what I mean, and everything that we needed at the location. And so anyway, he slowed down, and I might have sped up a little bit. We finally got to the location. I'll try to keep this story within reason, but here's to you, here's to me. But we had to cross a ranch, okay, and that was hell. And then finally we get over to that road that I showed you called Mines Road, which I thought was going to be a big improvement. It wasn't. It was worse. Because when you turned on Mines Road, and some of you people that live down here in the Eagle Pass, Laredo area, if you've been on Mines Road, then you know what the hell I'm talking about. That is a road from hell, you know. And so, but then at that time, it was an oil boom too, you know. So you got all the oil field traffic, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You got pipeline traffic, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, pipeline traffic is not 7 days a week, 24 hours. They're about 7 a.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. 4 or 5 days a week. Sundays 0 pretty much. And for the gate guards that were at the oil field locations, shit, man and wife, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trucks coming and going, and you were supposed to record the person's name, the name of the company, and the license plate on everything that moved. Okay. Anyway, so we'll get into that in more detail in a minute. But anyway, so we finally get down the road, get to the location, and and then I had to find a site. I didn't want to be on the site. There was a little hill there, and so anyway, so he pulls up and stops. Like he's going to unhook the trailer at the location. I said, "Hold on, man. Whoa, horsey. Okay. I ain't parking there. It's like this. You know what I mean?" So anyway, I found one about 50 feet away that was fairly level and stuff. He bitched about it, and of course I understood that because he was a contractor. He just was contracting with the company I was working with, and all he wanted to do was unhook and get the hell out of there. And but anyway, I held him up there a while, and we got they had a long hose, and stuff for water hose and stuff. So we got everything. But the downside of that was, as you know, out camping, if you leave your water hose out in the direct sunlight in 100-degree temperature, which it was down there most of the time I was there, because I got there in like May, June, July. Oh man, it was toast. It never rained down there. There was thunderstorms that come up. We'll get into that maybe a little bit. But anyway, so anyway, we finally get. I get situated, get the trailer kind of leveled up, and when he hooks up gets the motor running on the generator and stuff, and it's a damn diesel generator. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? But knock on wood, thank goodness for these roof ACs in travel trailers and RVs. They are extremely loud, as you know. So you could get inside the RV, you couldn't hear anything. You might hear a little boom, 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 boom. That's it. You know what I mean? So that really didn't bother me at all. The thing that bothered me was dust. See, they didn't tell you that in the ad. They didn't say that the wind blows and it's dusty and you're that close to Mines Road. That's a dirt road. I mean, the dirt road from hell. And these oil field trucks, the guys driving those oil field trucks, they don't care about the wear and tear on the equipment at all. You know what I mean? All they want to do is get from point A to point B and back again and home. You know what I mean? And they'll drive those big old trucks down that, oil field trucks down that road 60 miles an hour. And they did. Some of them would bounce so much that the whole rig would move over to one side or the other as they were going. Shit, they hanging on, man. But anyway, and did it throw up a little dust? Yeah, it threw up a little dust. Yeah, like a damn dust storm. However, the only time, fortunately, I was on the good side of the road because the prevailing wind was out of the southeast and pushed it away from me. Is that right? Yeah, but yeah, it was kind of like, well, I wasn't bothered by dust from the road very often, and the road that went down the pipeline in front of my RV, they had to slow down because they were getting close to the gate, so you didn't have much dust there. But anyway, so the thing was, you were supposed to be, we got all hooked up, everything worked, and the guy leaves, and that's the end of his crap. Anyway, so there I am, my first day on the job, and I got my little clipboard, with all the stuff, and I got my chair out, and I had my awning out a little bit so I'd be in a little bit of shade, and sure enough, here comes a car, and I did it. I got the guy's name, the company he's with, the license tag, away he goes. and he has to open the gate, close the gate, and all that stuff. And I unlocked the gate at 7 a.m. and locked the gate at 7 p.m. 7 days, well, supposedly 7 days a week. But once I found out that Saturday and Sundays were basically a zero, and most of the people that came and went it was a dial-up thing on the bottom of the lock, and they knew the code anyway, so they just come and go, and I didn't even worry about them on Saturdays and Sundays because I'd go grocery shopping and stuff. But the second day I was there, I was sitting outside. Naturally, it was hot and stuff, and so I got off the chair, went inside the RV, got me I don't know if I got a soda water. Anyway, I got some water or something. Came back out just as I was coming out the door. A car pulls up, and there's a whole line of cars. Must have been 15, well, pickups and cars from, I guess, every company in the world related to pipeline. And so anyway, I go out, had my clipboard, and this guy was the president of the pipeline company. Naturally, me just coming out the door. And he says, "You're supposed to be sitting out here." And I said, "I was." I said, "Man," he said, "Yeah." Anyway, he didn't push too hard. He said, "But the people behind us, just wave them through." And I said, "Okay." And so anyway, they left. I didn't even get his name or anything. I didn't write crap down. So the guys, but these people behind, they were doing like they're supposed to for a gate guard. They'd pull up and stop and say, "My name's Bill Smith. I'm with blah blah blah, and license number, and then they'd go on. So I had to stand there and act like I was writing down all this information. I didn't write shit. You know what I mean? Why? Because the president of the company said don't write shit. I didn't write shit. You know what I mean? That's the end of that crap. Go, guys, go. Well, and for after, I'd been there like, I don't know, a month. Well, I got all these sheets of information, person's name, company name, license plate number, and all that stuff. And did anybody ever ask for that shit? No. No, I was there for 3 months. Nobody ever checked any of my paperwork, ever, ever, ever. And my check was direct deposited. And the only two issues I had, one, well, I'll give you a few examples. The illegals came across there not several times, but I'm going to say in a period of 3 months, I probably saw 10 groups of illegals coming across. And they weren't, there were no, quote, coyotes that I don't think so. I think these were just people that walked across the Rio Grande and were heading to the dream life, I guess. And, I chatted with them a couple of times. Sometimes they'd come up to the RV and want water or something. I'd give them some water. And, because that potable water I had was good. You could drink it. And so I'd just give them a gallon or two. If they had something that held water, I'd fill them up for them. And sometimes I'd give them some canned goods if I had any extra. And because I had to go to the grocery store. And to get to the grocery store in Laredo, that was a full hour one way. But anyway, so that was the illegal thing. And the Border Patrol came by a few times. And the first time they came by, the day before, I talked with some illegals, and I said, "Hey, man," I asked the Border Patrol, I said, "Am I supposed to call you guys if I see somebody or what?" He said, "Use your judgment." I thought, okay, forget that shit. Anyway, here's to you, here's to me. Boy, my mouth's dry. So anyway, here I am, a gate guard. And then I got a neighbor across the road. Now, why? Because there was Mines Road, and there was a gate, and the pipeline was getting close enough. They built another gate, and because they have this group that comes in front and builds all the gates, so they can just go right through. And then there was another guy that moved in across there. I don't remember his name. Nice guy, but he was about a quarter mile from where I was. Shit, I don't think he ever got up at 7 o'clock. And the whole time he was there, I'd see, the people would come through my gate and go over there, but I knew the combination. And so I just tell him, I said, when you get to that other gate, if he's not out there, just here's the number, just go on through. Shit. And I guess that's the way you're supposed to do the gate guard. He probably had it down. He'd done it before, He said, hell, just be there and absorb the money and enjoy your life. And, but yeah, Beer 30 started at the same time every day, and I'd walk up right at 7 o'clock and lock the gate. But usually about around 5 p.m., after 5 on the pipeline gates, nothing was happening, man, nothing. And, we've already gone 20 minutes now. But anyway, so yeah, and let's see, some of the other things that happened, let's see, of course, there was thunderstorms, of course, there was tarantulas and all that shit, And anyway, I remember one time, two things that happened in Laredo. One was I was going into Laredo. I went to Walmart, came out, and there was a guy, a policeman, or well, I don't think it was a police. It looked like a National Guard or something. Had an M16, and he's walking around. I said, "What's going on out here, man?" He said, "Well, they just they just blew up the mayor's car." And I said, "Who's they? You know, the narcs or whatever." And I said, "Well," but he said he wasn't in it. That was, they were sending him a message. Well, that damn sure get my attention. You blow my car up. I said, "Now what was that you wanted me to do again?" I mean, hold it. What'd you say? I mean, hello. Yeah, I got you now. Yeah, Rich done. Here's to you. Mm. And the thing that ended it for me, see, one of the things you should always remember as an employer, don't ever jack with your employees' pay. You know, if you tell them you're going to pay them X number of dollars, pay them X number of dollars, and don't jack with them. Okay. So anyway, I'd been there. Well, before that, but of course, there was one incident where the damn old generator started doing something screwy, and my power was going in and out. I called the company out of I think they were out of Carrizo Springs, and anyway, yeah, we'll send something because the company told my company told me if you ever had any issues, call this number and they'll have somebody there within an hour. How long is an hour? I mean, hold on here. Yeah. So yeah, but I called them anyway. They showed up. I think it was the next day. But anyway, they finally got it fixed. And but no, they weren't happy campers. You know, they'd call you on the phone. That was another thing. The phone service wasn't all that good. And they'd call and they'd say, well, why don't you try this and try it? I said, hold on, man. That's your deal. I'm not going to go out there and work with the atomic bomb generator. Whatever you've got out there, you jack with it. And they'd get mad because I wouldn't try to do what they said, but I didn't. And enough said about that. But what ended it, the whole thing was, I'd been there going into the third month, and it wasn't too bad. I thought I'd stay till the end of the summer and wait till it got a little cooler and maybe go do something else at another doing. I mean, I was actually thinking about doing this gate guard and stuff for a long time. Why not? It's like finding money. And so anyway, I got my check, direct deposit, and I noticed that the amount was reduced by $100. And I thought, well, hell, I don't have anything coming out. So I called the company on the phone, get the girl in the payroll deal, and I said, hey, honey, you didn't, my paycheck ain't right. She said, oh, yeah. She said, well, we started deducting for the generator, water, and stuff. You got to pay for that. I said, well, honey, I ain't paying for that either. She said, well, the way it works is that we deduct it. The first, you get paid every 2 weeks. We deduct it there, and then at the end of the month, we reimburse you. And I thought, well, now there's some genius accounting, And anyway, but at the end of the month, my second check, there wasn't an additional $100 there. So I called again. She said, well, we're working on it. There's something wrong. I said, honey, who do you think you're talking to? I mean, shit. I mean, come on. First of all, you deduct it and you're going to add it back. What it was, I don't know if they were having a cash flow problem or what, but somehow or another they needed to pay that third party. And anyway, it was a mess. So anyway, I just called the guy on the phone. I gave him a week's notice. And well, actually, I gave him a week's notice on Thursday, and I left on Sunday. And the generator was still running. Shit. I mean, don't jack with me on stuff like that. But no, it was a real experience. I enjoyed it. And for those of you retired people, if you want to do something that's interesting, it can be a little bit of a headache. But a gate guard is not bad. It's not bad at all. Now you don't want to. I would not want what's called a 24-hour gate, but a 12-hour gate would not be bad because you don't have you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. You just you're going to be in the direct sun. You got to get you some shade and all that stuff. But yeah, it was a really interesting experience. And anyway, God dang, I mean, right on the Rio Grande River from where I was sitting was probably maybe a mile. Oh shit, man! Here's to you. Here's to me. Yeah, but the one thing good though, you go to the HEB in Laredo, and they had a deli. Oh, you could get all kind of good Mexican food in quart containers and stuff. And I'd get that and take it back, and I had food for a week. I didn't even have to cook, man. Had good stuff too. And I still did my walks in the morning. After every meal. I mean, I stayed healthy, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Except they jacked with my pay, man. You'd never do that. But anyway, guys, it's a Friday evening, quote, sanity session. I don't know if I helped you or not, but if I didn't, that's life. What else? Enjoy your Friday evening. Drink plenty of whatever you want to drink. And chill out, man. It's Friday. Tomorrow's your weekend to go do nothing if you want to. Just sit and stare out the window if that's your thing. But anyway, guys, from Fort Clark Springs, at ease, carry on. Adios, bye bye. Buy anything you want. Use the Amazon link if you choose to. Drink plenty of water. Enjoy your life. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And yeah, beer 30. Prost. That's another one. Anyway, adios, amigos. Become a gate guard. You'll enjoy it. I'm telling you. Bye bye.